Hey guys, welcome to this video. There have been a lot of questions on how can I save my changes and to the AR, and also every time I give you like a new version, you have to re-enter all the AR values again using the Cronus Zen menu. There is a better way, and that way is already been used by some of the guys that have more knowledge about the Zen Studio. So, but some of you guys, they don't really use Zen Studio a lot. They just use it to load the scripts and that's it. So I wanted to give you like a quick explanation how the script is built up, how is the structure, and how can you personalize the script with your values. So the next time I give you a new version, all you need to do is just copy the values from your script into the new version and then just uh, kept your AR values intact so that next time new version comes out, you are not so aggravated and you can very quickly go up to speed with the AR that you're familiar with. So it does require some work on your side, but once you have it done the first time, then the next version that comes along, all you need to do is basically is just copy and paste. So I'll show you how the script is structured, and then I'll show you the main functions you need to modify to save this the AR, but also when you want to change the order of the default guns, how you can do that so you don't have to be changing it all the time on the script itself. I mean on the menu, and it's a bit annoying. So I'll give you a quick tour now. All right. All right, guys. So this is the Zen Studio. So basically, here on the Zen Studio, you have the ability to modify and personalize all your changes, right? So you're familiar with this since you had to load the script on the Zen Studio before you actually load your changes into the Zen. So basically, the Veritas script has a lot of sections that are just for my understanding and my easier use. But the ones that you care are basically this section over here. So if you come down after the main function, you will have this section which it says script specific functions. So the functions that you care the most is these functions, right? From gun type all the way down to load secondary gun info. So these functions contains the logic for personalizing the name of the operator, the gun type, the gun name, and also if that particular gun has rapid fire or not, and also the AR. And that applies for primary and secondary guns for that particular operator you're dealing with. So, um, so all right. So let me start giving you a quick tour of each function and how they are interacting with the other functions. So let's start with display gun type, which is the first function on the ones that you care about. So if you go to this function, display gun type, and open it, you will see several blocks of if statements, right? So each if statement has some specifics for that operator. So even though I care about this index, for your reference, I added the name here so you know which one you're touching. For example, if I go, let me take sledge, which is the first operator. So we're talking about display gun type, right? So here you can see that we're talking about primary gun. So the primary gun for this particular operator has two primary guns. One is the assault rifle and the other is a shotgun, right? And then you can see here that has an else right here. So if it's not a primary gun, that means it's a secondary gun. So in this case, you will see that I only have one secondary gun, which is gun type. a handgun. So this gives you pretty good understanding what is the display of the Zen is going to be. So when you are on the primary gun, then you have assault rifle. When you are on the second option for primary, then you can see that is a shotgun. And then here you can see that now for the secondary gun, you have only an option of handguns. There are some operators that have different type of handguns, but I'll show you how that works in a minute. So that's basically it. So right, so this only gonna display the type of gun that is showing. So what does that mean? Okay, let me show you the menu on the Zen, right? So for a slash, you see the top portion. That portion is the name, which is a slash. Then you see the gun name, which is the L85A2, and then you see the gun type, right? Which in this case is assault rifle, which is here, right? So if I were to modify this, right? So if I change this and put it backwards, so right? So I'm gonna change the type. So okay. So now if I run this script, then you can see that now when it loads, the sledge will have the name swap, right? So now the primary gun name become a shotgun. And what does that do? Well, for example, there are some guys that are asking me that, for example, Ash. Let me hide this for a moment. So, for example, Ash, right? So Ash, they don't like the primary gun that is assigned to it. They like the other gun. So in this case, both primary are assault rifles, so you don't have to worry about that. So you're gonna need to change the other functions. So, and this is where the other functions start getting important, right? So, for example, display gun name. So we saw the type, but here you can see the actual name of the gun. So the primary and the default primary for Ash is the RC, right? This is the gun that recently got a little recoil, so people don't want that anymore. And also it got the ACOG removed, so they want to use this guy as the default. So what is the process of doing that? Well, this guy will show you the name of the gun. So if I want to just change it, all I need to do to make the R36C the primary, well, I need to change this. So I highlight this portion and then I remove it, right? And then I'll put this back. So basically I swap the default, which is index 1, for the primary from the R4C into the 636C, right? GC, sorry, G3R6. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm saying. You got me, right? So now this G36C is the default gun. But that's only the actual gun name, right? So now we also need to make sure that if the gun types are different, like in this function over here, I need to do the same. But for Ash, we already saw that both guns are assault rifles, so I don't need to change that. But if one gun was shotgun, just like a slash, then you need to swap it. All right. So now once you change the name, you also need to make sure to look at this next function, which is basically this says load gun RF. RF stands for rapid fire. So in the case of automatic guns, like both of the Ash guns, you can see that the rapid fire is set off. So let me find Ash. So let me go here and I find primary gun 1. Primary gun, you can see that it's set to 0. And then the second default is also set to 0, so I don't have to worry about that. So I leave both GANs with the rapid fire off, right? So basically this function, load GAN RF, will set the default rapid fire for the GANs that you wanted to deal with. In this case, most automatic GANs had the rapid fire off because you don't need it really. So some automatic GANs, the rapid fire is pretty useless because the rate of fire is pretty high. So rapid fire won't make any difference. But for the handguns, for example, these two, you can see that I have a rapid fire on. You can see that by the number 1. So basically 1 on, 0 off, right? So that's this main function. All right, so the next function I wanted to talk to you about, that's where the AR actually had to apply. So this is a little bit more complicated, but still, you need to actually pay attention because this is what you need to save on your script and then keep. So whenever you get a new version, all you need to do is copy the values here. So let's go back again to Ash, right? So we know that we actually swap the primary GAN. So you can see this function, we only deal with primary for simplicity. So you had two functions. One is primary, and then the other is the secondary. So that makes it a lot simple for when you're coding, but also it might make it simple for you guys to focus only on primary, don't get mixed up with the secondary values. But anyway, so you remember we swapped the GANs, right? So that means that I also need to swap these values from here and then take that one off and put it here. So now the values for the AR are now swapped. So it matches the name description that we put. So what does this mean? So this value is the vertical position. In the case of polar, you won't see negative values. For the same version of the AR, you might see negative values on the horizontal side. So, but like you can see over here, I'm working on polar version, right? So that means no negative values. Also, the values are limited to 28 up to 127. Why is that? Well, that's because I needed to do some tricks in order to be able to save all the data with the limited space we have on Zen. But don't worry about it. You don't have to worry what is the value that you have to put in here. So basically, you can see for the secondary, now I have 48, 45, 98. So that's vertical, and this is horizontal. And how does that reflect into the actual Zen? Okay, so let me bring up the this menu over here. So if I run the script, then you can see that every time I run it, it will pick out the defaults, right? So if I go and find Ash, and then I go into the AR menu, the anti-recoil menu, you can see the values, right? So 4598 pretty much reflects what this script has. But for example, you already went into a personalized game and start adjusting your recoil. Then you realize that your recoil for the vertical is 35, and for the horizontal is 88. So that's your values, right? 35 and 88. So what you're gonna need to do, and then you come here and you type 35 and 88, right? So those are the values that work for you. Once you do that, then that means this particular script has your values. So your script is now ready for you and is personalized to your values. So you have done two things, right? You change the primary GAN for Ash from the RC4 to the 36C. So you swap them, and then you change the name, and now you're changing the actual AR for the primary. All right. So what you need to do. Well, now that you make the changes, now you just save it, and then you're ready to load this script into the Zen. So let me show you now. So if I come here to the Zen and select what I had loaded, you will see that for Ash, the anti-recoil is 5396, right? That is my default. Sorry, a 5395 for the primary, because it is showing this, which already have a swap. So if I were to go and change the default, right, and then come here, then you see I have 4598, right? But I had to change the gun because the default was the R4C. So now I have made the change. I'm satisfied. This is my my particular script. So I come here. So that's attacker. So let me remove the attacker script and let me load my modify attacker script, which was a polar version, right? So I put it here, and now I just synchronize. So right now it's synchronizing the script with my changes, not with whatever I'm releasing, but whatever I change. So that's your own script, your personalized script. So now, okay, cool. So and now if I were to come back to the Zen and then select Ash, you can see that right out of the gate, the default gun is already the G36C instead of the R4. So if I come to the anti-recoil, now you see that my settings is 3588. So that's basically how you make changes into the script, and that becomes your personalized script. So you're satisfied with this, then you just save that. So whenever I give you a new version, you will see the last digit change, so you don't have to do anything here. You just load the new script. For example, okay, let me load the old script, right? So let me do polar. Where's the polar? Attacker progressive polar attacker 3.1, right? So that's the previous version. So then just find the script that the function that you want to change. Remember, they're always after main in this section. So let's find the load primary gun. So load primary gun info. So here we are. So let me find now Ash. So I actually contract these functions. We don't care. So you see this guy. So what I can do is just copy from my modify script, which is this guy. What I can do is just copy this section if that's all I care. But the easiest way is just to take this guy. You see how I contracted this function? Then just highlight everything past these three dots. So just highlight everything like this, right? And then just Control C for copy. Then I go to my to the new script I release, and I do the same thing. I contract this portion, this entire function, and then highlight it, and then Control V and paste. So if I go up and find Ash, now you'll see I actually copy the function with their values into that one, right? Where's Ash? Here. So now you can see the values here. All right. So now what I need to do? Well, remember there are 4 functions, right? There are a total of there are 5 functions that you need to worry about. So the first one is actually the display gun type. The second function is the display gun name, which displays the actual name to be shown on the Zen. And then the third function that you care about for non-automatic guns is the load gun rapid fire function. That's where you configure the default rapid fire for each of the guns. And then you have the load primary gun information for all your primaries. If you have 1 primary gun, then it's going to show. If you have 3, it's going to show the 3 guns. And then the last one is the load secondary gun info. That's usually for handguns, but some operator has they had the new shotgun swap and things like that. So the secondary become a shotgun. But basically, those are the 5 functions that you need to know about the script so you could personalize it. So I hope that makes sense. I try to make it as simple as possible. If it makes sense, well, good. If you have any questions, just feel free to just send me a message. You can put it on the general chat. So if people already are asking the same question, they can just refer to the same answers. I know a lot of you guys DM me. I don't mind that, but sometimes when you DM me, people ask me the same questions over and over. So it's hard for me to just keep repeating that. So if there is a specific questions and you put on the regular chat, then I can pin those answers, and that's easier to refer to those. All right, guys. I hope I didn't confuse you and make kind of sense how this Veritas script is structured and how you can personalize the script with the AR values, and also how you can how can you change the default against. Also before you leave, before I end this video, I only show you polar. But for example, in the case of the SIM version, yeah, SIM is basically the same, except that it allows for negative value, as I mentioned before, right? For horizontal, because it is based on an XY. So XY has negative values for horizontal. You can see some of these, especially here. Some of these might be negative. Well, I don't have any to show you, but basically the horizontal value might be a negative, might be minus 97, something like that. Just remember that you just need to copy that from your Zen menu, as I show you, and then into the section that belongs to that particular operator. And you can see the name next to the section that you need to work on. And also for progressive, progress is a little bit, well, it's exactly the same in all the another function except for the primary and the secondary GAN info. Why? Because it has more values. Like you saw on Polar and SIM, I only had 2, but here I actually have 6, and that's why I'm only able to save 9 per script. That is the reason. Instead of 2, we're saving 6 values, which consumes more memory faster. So how is that structure? So let me explain to you. So the first 3 sections, or 3 values, sorry, the first 3 values applies for horizontal. Vertical, just like the other guy. So vertical, the first 3 values. Horizontal, the last 3 values. So this is for the vertical start, vertical end, and then the vertical time. And this is horizontal start, horizontal end, and horizontal time. And how is that apply on the same? So let me show you. So you can see the slash has 37, 37, 10, 11, 11, 10. So, sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to do some new coding over here. Let me just cancel this before so I'm gonna just cancel this section so I can show you what I mean. So on the Zen, you can see that I have match values, right? So let me go back here and show you this Zen. So if I go to slash and then go to the anti-recoil menu, then you can see 3711. This particular menu, you can see that says AR star. So the first value is vertical star, and the second value is horizontal star. So what you need to do basically, once you have these values, so let me bring up like a notepad or something. Look, okay. So cool. Let me bring up this over here. Right, so you have 37, 11. So you write it down. So the first values will be vertical, the second will be horizontal. So a star is 11, and then the horizontal is, let me go back. Vertical is 37, and then the horizontal is 11 for star, right? And then if I press the swap button, or for the Xbox user, the Y, then you can see the ARN. So you can see now the next value is 37 for vertical, and then 11 for horizontal. And then if I move to the next menu, you can see that it has 1 for vertical time. So vertical time you can see is 1. I explained the difference between displaying and the actual variable name. And then if I go to the next, horizontal time is also 1, right? So 1, 1. All right, so let me get rid of this window. Let me go back here. So now let me show you on the function how they're mapped, right? Okay, so you can see now the values, right? 37, 37, 1. 37, 37, 10. The reason I actually show you the 10 is in order for me to save space, I do some algorithms to actually map it. So here, the actual display on the Zen is 1000, right? So, but I don't need to write all these digits. I only take the two first digits, and that's what I save. So that's why the first one is 1 and the second is 0. So that becomes 10, right? So now it kind of makes sense now. 37, 37, 10. Then you see vertical 37, 37, 10. And then you see horizontal 11, 11, 10. 11, 11, 10. So how about if I have more than that? Maybe some like a point something, right? So if I go to the, oh, sorry. Yeah. If I go to the, okay. Sorry, slash. Okay. Now let's load it. So 37, 37. So how if I go 2.5? 2.4. Let's make it 2.4. So how is that is going to be written down? I know you guys are pretty smart, so you already know the answer. I just want to make it clear. So instead of that, it should be 2.400. And I say that I'm only taking the first two digits. So instead of 10 for the vertical, will be 24. So the value that you're going to be typing here instead of 10 will be 24. Oh, of course, 24. And that's how you configure the AR for progressive. Okay, once you find the right values, all you need to do basically just, like I say, go into the AR menu, bring up your notepad, write down the values, and then just update the script and save it. And that's your personalized script. All right. Well, before I go, let me see. No, I think I covered all of them. Okay. I know there are more functions and more modes and all that, but I don't know if you guys wanna see a tour of the actual functions and how they're structured and all that. Maybe some of you want to do it. If you do it, just let me know, and I can explain how all these different things work, how these functions are interacting, like prone shot, cross span, all these things. But I think that's it, guys. So if you have any questions, again, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. All right, bro. Take care. Bye.